Well, welcome back to computer science. It's week 7 now. That's cool. What did we learn about yesterday? I know we did the binary numbers unit. That was pretty straightforward. We also probably finished the end of that list, intro to lists unit. So we talked about the methods, sequence type methods. We talked about sequence type functions. My understanding, at least right now, is methods change the list itself. Typically use dot notation. Functions do not change. They keep the original function intact. Original function intact. Yeah, and then output something new. So the ones I forget often are index value, which will give you no, it's list name dot index. That'll give you the first item in the or element in the list, and then I think it's list dot value, list name dot value, and then it will output once you give it like a parameter or an argument of a value, and it will output the first element, probably index, where that element is found or value is found. Binary numbers. This is a number of base 2, okay? Typically 0 or 1 is what we're referring to. Decimal, so that's a binary number. A decimal number is base 10. That's what we typically deal with everyday life outside of computers. And yeah, in many programs, a variable is assigned a specific number of bits, so that gives a limit to how large the number can be in the variable, or small, I guess you could say. But that's not true in Python. It does give, from my understanding, Python does allocate a specific number of bits to a variable, but if it needs to expand more, it can, so it's really limited only by memory capacity. Yeah, I think that's basically everything. That looks good. Yeah, I think that's everything. So it's the start of a new week, so what I'll begin today with is just cleaning out my Canvas notifications and checking grades. Maybe we'll have our final or our first quiz grade in, and then from there I'll go to back to the lecture work, my textbook, and start working on lecture 13. So I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, we just started lecture 13, so this first unit's on tuples. So this is starting to get into areas that I've never learned or heard of before. I've heard of tuples. The tuples are essentially, I've heard them for math, like an ordered pair is a tuple, an ordered triple is a tuple, for example. But a tuple in Python and programming, Python at least, is it's a collection of data similar to a list, except for that it's immutable, and the way you create it is using parentheses and commas. That part's pretty simple, but now we're getting to this thing called a named tuple. And a named tuple, this was a little bit more complex for me to understand. So I think a named tuple is basically a structure, a new simple data structure you can create within a program that has names for attributes. So for example, car has different attributes as a make, model, price, seats, etc., number of seats. And so you can create a named tuple that's like a container, or like it's kind of like a template. Yeah, template's a good way to I think about it, with predefined attributes that you can then plug in. You can be like, okay, so car is create a name tuple car, and it's got attributes of make, model, and then price and number of seats. And so then you can create new tuples from that template, and so you can just say like whatever car name, and then you can type in fill in those things, when you call if it's a name tuple called car, you can say car, and then parentheses. Then you don't have to say name or make, you just type in the make. So you type in Chevrolet, and then you can type in the name, so you don't have to type in the name, you type in, and the second position you type in. So you type in Chevrolet, comma, Impala, comma, $50,000, comma, 5 seats, something like that. And then it gets stored with those attributes set to them. So then you can access them with the items with or elements with dot notation. So you can say if you stored as Chevy underscore Impala with the car and name tuple, and then you can say Chevrolet underscore Impala dot price, and it'll pull out the price for you, which can just be easier and more logical than using indexing. Otherwise, you could just use, I think that's really the whole value proposition, is the dot notation, the simple dot notation, and the I guess the predefined structure, so that everything is standardized, so minimize errors for when you're creating tuples. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I will be back later today. All right, I'm back for some more computer science. So we're gonna get back into these named tuples and finish out that. I think I explained it actually, my current understanding, but let's see if I'm missing anything. All right, guys, we finished the tuples unit. So turns out that I actually was pretty accurate with my first, or like last time when I tried to define what a named tuple was. Seems to be pretty correct. Creating a named tuple doesn't create a new object, it creates a new data type. Yeah, you can use, so basically the structure is you initialize a variable name, or the name of the name tuple, I believe. Then you set equals name tuple, which is controllers. Then you put the parenthesis after that, just like as you would with the function. And then with the arguments, you put in like the name of the name tuple in a string, comma, and then you can either use a list or a single string with comma separators or space separators to separate the attributes of the attributes of the fields of the named tuple. You have to create named tuples, you have to import named tuples from collections, and I think that's basically it. So it creates a new data type. Yeah, I said that. All right, well, that's pretty good then. That's going to be it for today. Tomorrow we'll begin looking at sets. So talk to you tomorrow. See ya.